pour a cup of tea, you've got to sit back for this one. Got a bit of a yarn to tell on this one. This is me doing the walk of shame on my last day morning of my very first trip to Angeles City. Now, what had happened was I tried to do it as cheap as absolutely possible. I got cheapest flights, that's why I was only there for a short period, just 9 days. So able to get very, very cheap return flights, paid about $400 Australian round trip with the Cebu Pacific direct from Sydney. And I also booked a Airbnb, which was advertised to be a place called Hotel Sale, but it wasn't the hotel. Apparently the owner owns multiple hotels and apartels around the local area, and I was actually booked into a place called the Sun Moon Apartel, which you will see towards the end of this video. And the place, to me and my standards, was just absolutely appalling. So I ended up spending the entire, remaining 8 days after my first night in that place. I spent my 8 days just hotel hopping throughout Angeles. I spent 2 nights in Royal Amsterdam, but then I saw some, I don't know, like a ghost or something, and it scared me, so I checked out. Then I spent a couple of nights in Pacific Breeze, tried out a different couple of rooms there. One of them being the Grand Admiral Suite. I've rented that out a couple of times. I really enjoyed the jacuzzi. But anyway, back on with what I was crapping on about. So yeah, I spent my nights hopping around town and blew my budget very quickly in the bars here along Walking Street, being the first time over there. I got pulled in all over the place and spent, thousands upon thousands of pesos in each bar over the 9 nights that I was there. Or 8 nights. It was 9 days total. I flew home on the 9th day. And so what had happened was, on this particular morning, I am now walking back to the appalling, abysmal apartment where I left most of my stuff, after spending my last night in a very sort of seedy Korean type hotel that was tucked away in one of the side alleys on Walking Street, right at the back of the side alley. And it was about, I think, 600 peso for the night at that point in time. I'm not even sure the place still exists. I looked for it last time I was there and I couldn't spot the place down the end of the side alley. It could still be there, I couldn't see it for the life of me. So yeah, I ended up spending that last night in this 600 peso Korean type place, tiny little box of a room, which was, aside from having a safe, just about as bad as the place that I originally rented on Airbnb. And got a freelance girl in on the last night. We agreed on 800 peso to come and spend the night with me. She wasn't a typical freelance girl, she was one of the local college students. So anyway, she came over to hang out with me, and one thing led to another, and we ended up having a quite late night. And this is the morning after doing the walk of shame from that seedy hotel back down along Walking Street and Fields Avenue, and we've still got a ways to go here because the place I was staying at is down off of Narciso Avenue. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, and if I am, feel free to correct me in the comments. It would be appreciated. I don't like pronouncing things incorrectly, though I do it a lot of the time. So I'll have a sip of my tea, and we'll continue on with this abysmal walk of shame. I might just quiet down a bit and let you guys enjoy the view and the background tunes that I've got going on. It is a window back into time though. A lot of the places you see in this village just simply don't exist anymore, or have moved, or been renamed. A lot of them just don't exist at all anymore. They're completely different businesses and franchises and things now. Most of the hotels still remain the same. I'm pretty sure the Natalia is still there. The bank on the corner, that's gone now. That's a little cafe thing now. And this still remains the same on the corner here. That's still a Mercury Drug with the 7-Eleven next door. Though after that, there used to be a lot of phone stalls and things along the street down here. They're all gone these days. An awful lot has changed in the 10 years from this footage. And this also just happened to be the day of the Super Bowl. While I was walking along Walking Street there, I don't know how audible it will be in the final video, but you can hear the game being called. A lot of the bars were operating because, you know, that's as they do in Angeles any time to bring in some customers when there's an event on. Most places jump on it, and most of the bars were occupied playing the Super Bowl on this particular morning. Monday morning in the Philippines, but you know, Super Bowl Sunday for the USA folks in the different time zone there. So yeah, this particular morning I said my goodbyes to my new little friend. Sent her off to have a bit of breakfast while I trudged my way back down the street with my valuables, back to retrieve my clothing and belongings and pack and get ready to go home, because this was the last day. Last day of my very first trip. I just took a very short 9-day trip, not just because of the price, but because I'd been visiting Thailand, Pattaya, prior to this, and I wasn't sure if Angeles City was really going to be my vibe. But it turned out that it was, and I haven't been back to Thailand since. Actually, there was one trip, or 2 trips back to Thailand after this particular trip, but in general I take all of my trips over to the Philippines, and I've only been to one other place, which was Cebu. I've also stayed in Barrio Barredo and Makati and Quezon City, but Angeles seems to be my go-to spot for the Philippines. I really enjoy the vibe up here. It's not quite as congested, as busy as things are down in Metro Manila. But I would just give a word of warning and advice, as you're about to see in the next couple of minutes. Pay a bit more for your accommodation. Don't try to rent the absolute cheapest thing you find on Airbnb, because a lot of the times, in my experience, I've found that the price definitely represents the quality of the accommodations. And this only cost me like $200 or $300 Australian for the 8 nights, but as I learned, hopping through the hotels and getting cash discounts and walk-up discounts, I did just as well with the hotels really as I would have sticking with the budget gigs. So yeah, I would advise that anyone advises anyone, you know, wanting to take the plunge and go over for a bit of a short or a long trip, just book something cheap for a night or two, and then while you're there on your first day, go and stalk around the hotels and check out some Airbnbs that you might like. Maybe arrange to have a look at the Airbnb in person before even committing on the app. You know, there's plenty of options there that you can take. But yeah, in my experience, it's definitely worthwhile shopping around, because as you're about to see, this is what I was staying in. Now, it's not the end of the world, but what you don't see in the video is where I've got my stuff stored in the closet. There was big scratch marks and that in the closet, where you could see that the safe had been pretty much ripped out. And you could also see there was also some crowbar marks and that on the door, so the room had been robbed at some point. It was very evident. This is old shaky, like Generation 1 GoPro footage, so things aren't exactly looking crisp and crystal clear, but yeah, there was definitely signs of the door being forced by some sort of tool at some point, and a clear lack of a safe, and you know, a very rough job where it had been pulled out from where it was fixed in. So yeah, I've just got to assume that this room was at some point burgled, and you know, not just by some girl slipping something into a bag or something, but you know, by somebody forcing their way in and physically removing things. So yeah, here we are, and this is just what I wasn't happy with. It was a tiny box of a room. The aircon was barely adequate. I wouldn't even say adequate. It didn't fill the room quite enough. And yeah, there's really nothing to it. It's very bare bones. Nowhere to sit and have a meal or anything sort of thing. You're expected to, if you want a meal at this place, to sit outside, you know, under the, there are chairs and tables provided outside, you know, in the gazebo area with umbrellas and that, but it's just a shame, really. You know, like I say, price obviously represents quality in this instance, but just feel that they could do a bit more with the room, even though it is a tiny space. And you know, having sorted out the safe and all of that might have been helpful as well, or appreciated at the very least. So yeah, this is what I had, and I just didn't stay here at all after the first night. It just wasn't for me, and I don't think it's really for many people out there. Probably the sort of place that you would use more akin to a transient rather than a place to actually take a vacation. It had a pool. The pool was, you know, shallow and small, and not really much going on with this place at all. It's not one that I would rate or recommend. And there's really very little more I can say for this, so I think I'm just gonna shut up and let you enjoy the rest of the tunes, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to drop some comments. If you're enjoying the comment, thumbs up would be appreciated. Maybe a share if you're feeling very generous. So yeah, that'll be me for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.